Hi, Jamie here. Thanks for taking a couple of minutes to watch my video today. What I want to focus on is child support, but more specifically, I want to talk about enforcing a child support order once you have it or changing it in the event that your circumstances change. First things first, what is child support? Child support is a right that belongs to your child or your children. It's your financial obligation or the obligation of your co-parent to support that child. So now you know what child support is. Now let's talk about how you establish child support. Child support in New Jersey is established using the New Jersey Child Support Guidelines. That means that we use a software program where we take into consideration certain things, your income level, the age of your children, the parenting time schedule. Those are just examples. And we put that information into a program, and that gives us what the base level of child support is. In addition, there are times where your combined income with your co-parent may exceed the threshold that's set out in the New Jersey Child Support Guidelines. In that event, a judge may order a deviation from the base child support guidelines that the program gives us. Again, this deviation is going to be at a judge's discretion, but it's something that you should and can try to work out with your co-parent. Now that I've explained to you what child support is and how we establish it, I want to talk about what happens if child support isn't being paid. I understand this can be a very stressful situation. You may be newly divorced or you've split up from your co-parent and you're funding all of these financial obligations for a child, and all of a sudden the money that you were relying on coming in on a weekly basis isn't coming in. It is stressful. Now that I've explained to you what child support is and how it's established, I want to talk about what happens if child support stops being paid. We understand that this can be a very stressful situation. You have an order and you're relying on that money coming in on a weekly or monthly basis, and it stops. There are things that you can do to protect yourself. You should talk to an attorney who will guide you as to the next appropriate steps for you to take. So in instances where the payments just stop coming in or they're habitually late, you may be in a position where you have to file a motion for enforcement. Part of that motion may be a request for payment to come through the probation department. The probation department will then track the frequency of your payments. You can also ask a court to have the payments come via wage garnishment. So you know that when your co-parent gets paid, that money is going to come directly out of their pay into your probation account. Sometimes that initial application or motion to the court for payment through probation or wage garnishment is enough, and you can rely on those arrears not happening month after month. But sometimes it's not. And what will happen is that either probation will initiate, or you may have to initiate, with the help of an attorney, additional enforcement measures. What are some things that courts will do to make sure that child support gets paid? Let me give you a couple of examples. Suspending your driver's license or passport, reporting it to credit bureaus, taking your tax refund, seizing assets, putting judgments in your name, and worst of all, they can issue a warrant for your arrest. It is serious business to not pay support, and courts take it serious. Because of the severity of enforcement measures that a court can take, I also want to talk about what happens when a child support order that was issued can't be complied with, not because you don't want to, but because you actually can't. You've had a change in your life circumstances that makes it impossible for you to meet your court-ordered obligation. If you find yourself in this predicament, there are things that you can do. Child support is modifiable based on a substantial change in circumstances. And what does that mean? It means that there's been a substantial change. Something is very different than when the child support order was entered. Maybe you've lost your job and you've tried everything in your power to regain employment and you simply can't. Or maybe you've been injured or experienced some illness that makes it impossible for you to continue working. These are serious life events that have changed, and child support should be modifiable based on that. Everyone's situation is different, but it's important that you consult with an attorney to talk about the facts of your case and what's happened that's made it impossible for you to keep up this obligation. We'll assess the situation and make sure that we are taking the next right step for you. I hope you found this information helpful. What I really want you to take away today is that no two situations are alike. The facts of your case are unique to you. So I want you to schedule an appointment with one of our attorneys to talk about the things that are impacting you so we can help.